Hello and welcome to episode number 73 of Super Califanilistic. My name is Christian Rauchenwald and today we're going to talk a little bit about backups and data security. Before we get to that, as always, a quick welcome to everybody who tunes in for the first time to one of my episodes. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you watch this on YouTube or follow if you listen to it as a podcast so you don't miss out any future episodes. If you're curious about the backstory on how I started all this and why I'm doing all this, make sure to listen to episode number 1 of this series. That said, we're good to go. So why do I want to talk about data security and backups? Simply because most people don't pay any attention to it until it's too late, meaning until either one of their passwords got hacked or somehow leaked and suddenly multiple accounts are compromised, or until one of the devices breaks and suddenly they start crying over all the data that is lost and oh my god, how can I get it back? Now, let's start with the backup stuff. This doesn't only apply to your computer or Mac. It also applies to everything that's of value to you. For example, your email list. If you're in email marketing, your real and only asset is your email list. Meaning, if your accounts get compromised or if for some reason your provider shuts down or gets hacked or closes your account because you violated the terms of service somehow, even though you didn't do it on purpose, it could very likely mean that your whole email list is gone and you have to start from scratch. It's worse enough that if your email provider decides to shut down your account, that you will have to basically overnight recreate all of your emails and sequences with another provider and update all your integrations. But it would be even worse if it would mean that your existing list where you spend time and money building it would be gone. So how can you back up your email list? Of course, you can either once per week, once per month in any regular or irregular interval, log into your email provider and download your lists and store them, or you can automate the process. How that is done is one of the lections or course elements that you're going to learn in my follow-up automation training, which is available at www.followupautomation.com. In any case, it's crucial that you do it. Now, you may think that's a very unlikely scenario. If that's so, I encourage you, for example, to go through to the ClickFunnels group and simply search for MailChimp, and you will see that it's not that uncommon for MailChimp, for example, to shut down accounts once they start doing any affiliate marketing. So meaning any promotion that MailChimp may consider affiliate marketing could lead to a very, very unpleasant experience, meaning you trying to log in and your account is basically banned and there's no way to fight that. That said, that's in terms of business and your assets, but it also applies if you run an online store and maybe you use some ERP system that's running locally on your computer that maybe responsible for creating invoices, sending shipping notifications and stuff like that. Well, there you also need to make sure to update your database, and not only once per week, but basically at least one full backup daily during the night if possible. So when there's not a lot of data change, and then incremental backups, depending on how many orders you have per day, but could be as much as a backup every 15 minutes or even in shorter intervals. So to ensure that no matter what happens, you're safe. And also, I know a lot of people make backups on some thumb drives or external hard drives, but have you ever considered what happens if, God forbid, but your office or house burns down? Well, your hard drive will burn down as well, and your thumb drive as well. Or if somebody breaks in and steals everything, do you think oh my god, that external hard drive for sure contains data they will need after they steal their computers? Or do you think they will also just take your hard drive with them? So make sure to use something like Google Drive, Dropbox, or another service to also have your backup somewhere secure in the cloud. It's really, really crucial. It could save your business and a lot of time if or when something goes wrong, because it's just a matter of time till you get in the unlucky situation that a hard drive fails, or again, fire is maybe unlikely, break-ins are maybe also unlikely. But just some stupid mistake, maybe somebody by accident deletes something, over the last decade, I worked for a lot of different e-commerce company within Europe, and I had it twice that the CEO of a company who insisted on having like admin access within an ERP system by accident deleted a whole main product category containing 15,000 products. Now, that would mean somebody else would have to recreate 15,000 products and categories in multiple languages, description, pictures, and everything. So, and until that's done, nobody could buy those products, yeah, because the system automatically synchronized with the online store. So, meaning the moment he deleted that, 5 minutes later, those products were gone from their online store as well. So, you see, like, if there would not have been backups in place that allowed me in that case to use the backup and just restore the now missing database tables for those products, their business would have taken a huge hit. So it's really, really important to get this done. And like everything that's really important for your business needs to be backed up somewhere and also remotely. So not only locally, but also remotely. Now, in other aspects, is like, think about what people store on their computers, what you store on your computers. Maybe you have a text file that's really important. Maybe you have other files that's really important. Maybe it's just your pictures of your family and stuff like that, yeah? Now, nowadays, when you have like an iPhone or an Android phone and you may have Google Photos and stuff like that and iCloud, you don't have to worry that much about your pictures, but again, like, make sure to also have like backups of your local hard drives because it saves time. For Apple, unfortunately, they discontinued it, but they used to have Apple Time Capsule. Maybe you can still get one somewhere. It's like the best device out there for Apple backups. There is, for Windows, there is nothing that comes close to it, yeah, to be honest. And what it does, you set it up once, and your Mac creates one full backup, and then it creates like hourly incremental backups and keeps the backups like for the last week for every hour, then like for every day, and at a certain point only for every week or every month. And it keeps creating backup till your time capsule is full. But because it only creates incremental backups, it's like it only saves what changed compared to the last backup, which is really great. And the benefit is, whenever you buy a new MacBook, you can just simply, or a new Mac, you can just say like restore or set up from Time Machine backup. So you get a working machine where you just then have to enter the passwords for your like Google Mail account and stuff like that, but everything else is set up as it was on your old device. Or again, if your hard drive breaks and you get a new one and you want to set it up, it's like really, really a time saver. The only downside with Time Capsule is they only have one hard drive in the Time Capsule, which means if that hard drive fails, all your backups are gone. But that's a kind of like a small risk. It's very unlikely that on the same day your time capsule dies and your MacBook dies. It's not impossible, but it's very, very unlikely. So in the case our time capsule will die, I would just like find a new one. Also, you don't have to buy Apple's time capsule. There's easy ways and tutorials on the internet to use basically almost any network attached storage and set it up as a time capsule drive or time machine drive in that case, yeah. And so basically your Macs backup themselves there all the time without you even having to think about it, yeah. For Windows, again, there's also backup solutions, but I personally think they don't come close, but it's still important to update, backup your stuff from time to time. That said, let's go to data security, which is another aspect. I notice from like sometimes people share passwords with me because I need access to something to help them quickly, yeah. Either like I need them to remotely access the computer and they log in, or if it's really something minor and there's already a certain level of trust, they just send me their credentials and I log in and get something done, yeah. And I noticed that some people use the same password everywhere, which is a horrible idea to do. And then they use passwords like first name and the 2 or 3 digits, which is also a horrible password, yeah. Like to give you an example, my default password, which I use for my macOS user, has like 26 characters. It has like numbers, lower and uppercase letters, and special characters in it. And yeah, that may sound like ridiculous or hard to remember for you, but everything is kind of like practice, you know. Like while in the beginning you may need like a post-it or something to help you just type down the password, after a week you will have remembered it, and it will be a password that's really impossible for anybody to just guess randomly, which is like the purpose of a password. And it's also important, like some of you will have like text files on their computer containing all the password, which is the worst idea ever, because if somebody ever would get access to the text file, they would have so many of your credentials. So it's important to use a password manager, and there it's also important to use something that's cloud-based. I tried some of the free ones like KeePass, and then using like Dropbox to synchronize it between devices and all that stuff, and LastPass and so on. But honestly, trust me, what you want to get is 1Password. It's a paid thing. It costs a couple dollars per month per user, but the great thing is it comes also with family plans and stuff like that. So for example, Ira and me, we have a business account there for the company. We both have our users there. We can set up different vaults for different stuff, and I can just move like passwords as needed between the vaults. And each person has its personal vault, so there are credentials like my online banking or stuff that do not belong to other people, and then there's like shared credentials that are shared with other people. And the benefit of this comes with added features like it shows you warnings when you use the same password twice. It has an easy to use password generator that you can just say I want a password with that many digits or characters, and it should contain or not contain like special characters and numbers, and this way you get new password. They also use a service, I forgot the name, but what it does is like whenever a leak on a website is reported, it also is listed there. So for example, if there would have been a leak on Instagram, 1Password would show in a section of the program that that platform has been like compromised, so you should change your password. So it really comes with a lot of feature. The best thing is it comes with apps for Mac, iOS, so Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, and Android. So you have like the same password manager on all devices. On iOS, on your iPhone, with some apps, not with all, and for sure not with many, but with some apps that I'm using, it's even integrated already in the login process. So when I'm in the login window, I have a 1Password icon I press on, it goes to 1Password. I use Face ID, it basically logs me in. Yeah, so it's really the thing to go. And again, why should you do that? Because if you use the same password everywhere, it's just a matter of time. Just imagine like you use the same password in 5 locations, and for some reason you share their access to one account with another person because there is no other way for them to get access, and they need to have access for some reason. Now it would mean after they close their session and like are done with whatever they needed access to, you would need to update your password in 5 locations. Yeah. And maybe you store your passwords safely, yeah, but maybe they store it just in a text file like clientspassword.txt or something, yeah, and you can congratulate yourself. It's like you're begging for it. It's like everything else, like when you like in sales where you use statistics to say, okay, I need 100 or 1,000 people on my website or funnel to get one sale, yeah. And it's just a matter of probability of statistics, and the same is like with your data security and your backups. It's just a matter of time. Like if you say a hard drive has like a lifespan of that, I don't know, 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours, yeah, it's a matter of time and usage till one of your hard drives will actually die. Yeah, it's a matter of time before you actually, the more you are active online, one of your passwords or one of the platforms or services you're using gets compromised. And if your password is then the same for Facebook, Google, and for everything else, and you do not use necessarily two-factor authentication, you're gonna be in some trouble. Yeah, imagine the account where it's actually the worst is your Google account without two-factor authentication, because you use that Google address everywhere to log in, meaning if somebody ever is able to log into your Google account, yeah, without any two-factor authentication, they can just go to any platform like Facebook, maybe your online banking, maybe PayPal, and press the forgot password button to get a reset password link sent, and you can watch your PayPal funds disappear, for example. Yeah, that's like really, really, worth knowing. Last but not least, real quick, also do not use services like for your online banking. Try to use like app-based authentication stuff when it's about transaction confirmation. Do not use text message based because that's easily spoofed. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail here, but it's worth to spend the couple minutes to set up everything up, or maybe even it's a day to set up everything up and a couple days to get used to it, because long term it will provide more security. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments below if you're already using a password manager and if you already have a backup solution in place for the stuff that's important or not. Also, the links to 1Password and other stuff are also down below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Till tomorrow with episode number 74. Bye-bye.